So The Legend of Zelda is, of course, one of Nintendo's most beloved IPs, and it's definitely seeing a lot of success in the modern era. Games like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom have absolutely shattered Zelda sales records, and Nintendo themselves have gone on record as saying, hey, we want a lot of Zelda games. We pretty much want a Zelda game to come out every single year. Now, obviously, they're not always going to be the size and the scope of something like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, but with 2025 coming out, we really don't know anything about any sort of Zelda game potentially happening. Or do we? There is a thread over on Twitter that is very interesting that has a lot of people talking, and I kind of want to go over this thread and give some of my thoughts over it. So, looking at this, we have a individual called Pixel. Oh, I can't read. It's still early in the morning for me here, and it's 14 degrees outside. We are very cold in the Northeast. I will sound extremely delusional, but I genuinely think a Wind Waker port for Switch exists because of an unexpected place, Nintendo of Korea. And then we get into this thread. I will have a link to this tweet in the description box down below should you want to read it and go over the information yourself. But yeah, it's an interesting theory, and obviously a port of Wind Waker isn't necessarily anything new. We've been told that Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD have existed for the Switch for many, many years. Now, there is a little bit of a reason to potentially believe that. When you look at something like Mario and Luigi Brothership, it seems like Nintendo was sitting on that game for quite a while, waiting for it to release kind of at the right time. So maybe this is a situation like this. Obviously, these games came out on the Wii U, were somewhat successful considering the Wii U's small user base, and these are games that definitely deserve to be on the Nintendo Switch. So scrolling on down here, we have first and important context. Wind Waker has never had an official Korean translation. Although it was released in South Korea, even though they translated the manual and the packaging, the game itself was in English. So you can see, like, here's the box and stuff, and it's clearly in Korean, or I should say clearly in Korean, because I don't really know what Korean text looks like, but I'm gonna assume that Pixel knows what he's talking about. He seems like an intelligent individual, someone who is very tuned in to the Legend of Zelda franchise. It was only from 2006, when Nintendo established a subsidiary in Korea, that they finally decided to translate Zelda games in Korean. And this has been true since Phantom Hourglass, except Spirit Tracks. So you could see here we have some box arts for Korean Legend of Zelda games. The Wii U, however, was never released in Korea, so they once again missed out on a Korean translation of Wind Waker. Okay. Since the release of the Switch, however, any Zelda games have been consistently translated officially in Korea, including Hyrule Warriors. Good Lord, this cold just has me not being able to talk, which was originally a Wii U game, and the best Hyrule Warriors game is the original. Age of Calamity kind of stinks, in my opinion. Like, it doesn't stink, but it's nowhere near as good as this. And I get it. Oh, it adds more story and stuff like that. Like, gameplay is king, pal. And Hyrule Warriors, the original game, is so chock full of gameplay and so many Zelda games and references and stuff like that. I just love that game way much more. Why is this relevant? Because Nintendo of Korea's own website showing a timeline of all Zelda games, but crucially, games that had a Korean translation use their Korean names. Those who didn't used English, with one major exception, the Wind Waker. And you could see here that according to this individual, like I said, I'm not very fluent in my Korean. Here's a screenshot of the website, and then it is in Korean here when talking about the timeline. And you can see below it, Spirit Tracks is actually in English because Spirit Tracks has not been translated into Korean, just like we learned from the other slide up here, except Spirit Tracks. So, scrolling around, this mistake has been corrected since they now show the English name. So, this was something that was updated, put as Korean, and then they changed it to English, making the Wind Waker appear on there. This isn't a one-off either, as this panel from an official Zelda event for Echoes of Wisdom shows the same mistake. And you can see here that indeed, oh wow, we'd have to zoom in really far, but I'm going to take their word for this, that this is indeed in Korean. Oh, okay, okay. He helped us out here. So, A Link to the Past and Four Swords, never translated into Korean. Wind Waker, never translated into Korean, yet it is listed in Korean. I know this is kind of a rabbit hole theory, but I think there's some merit to it. This could suggest two things: that they did start translating in Korean Wind Waker for Wii U, but it was never released, or there is in fact a Nintendo Switch port of Wind Waker because they've been consistently translating games in Korean and this accidentally slipped through. Or this is all a massive stretch. I've completely lost it, and this is a simple stake for Nintendo. But at least you learned a little more about Zelda in Korea, end of thread, which at the very least, I find all of this very interesting because I'm sure you aren't aware of the usage of an English name versus a Korean name when involving games that haven't been officially translated into Korean in the region. But I don't know. Like, going back to what I said at the start of the video, Nintendo wants a Zelda game every year. We know that Nintendo tends to sit on games sometimes that have already been completed and just kind of release them whenever they want to. We have seen a large uptick in remakes and remasters coming out for the Switch. And although the Switch 2 is coming out in 2025, at least God hope, pray that this system comes out in 2025. They obviously could release something like this for the Switch, and I think people would be happy as far as Switch owners are concerned. And we know that the Switch 2 has backwards compatibility. You got to remember, there's been a lot of people saying that Wind Waker for the Switch already exists along with Twilight Princess, and it makes sense. These are great Legend of Zelda games. They have already been done in HD and had versions released on the Wii U. But I do find the information provided here at the very least interesting. I don't think it's necessarily a confirmation or anything like that, and it could end up being something for 2026 because of the fact that the game will be turning 20 in the year 2026, which is a horrifying passage of time. But then what would you have for 2025 as far as a Legend of Zelda game is concerned? There's been lots of people that have said that this does indeed exist, and it probably does. I've kind of given up hope on it coming out, but maybe this is a little bit of hope. 2 times you mess up and put the Korean name instead of the English name, even though the English or the Korean name has never been officially translated into Korean on the website and on marketing materials and stuff like that. I don't know. It's the holiday season. People are out here thinking that Santa Claus is going to come down their chimney in a matter of a few days. So I think anything's on the table. Anything's on the table for discussion with this. And I don't know. It could be interesting. It could be a 2025 holiday surprise, or not really holiday surprise, but a 2025 surprise for the Legend of Zelda fans, or could all just be one big coincidence. What do you think about this, though? How do you see this playing out? Is this all just a big coincidence? Is Nintendo of Korea just making a few different marketing mistakes? Or do you think that these games do exist? They're being done in Korean and brought over to the Switch, and we'll see them in 2025. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. I am wrapping up my holiday stuff because I'm going to my grandma's for a couple days, hanging out, eating a lot of food. There will be one more video tomorrow, probably a live stream tomorrow on the 23rd as well. And then 24th, 25th, 26th, you probably won't see me. I didn't disappear off the face of the earth. I am just enjoying the holiday season, and I hope you will enjoy the holiday season as well. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you are new. And as always, catch you guys on the next video. Later.